Oil prices are dropping. They're dropping again, and they're dropping quickly. And that's a good thing, right? Or is it? Find out on this edition of the Video Market Update. In mid-May, a barrel of Brent crude oil was trading somewhere in the mid-60s, and the West Texas index was trading a barrel of oil somewhere around $61. And you would say, well, that's great because cheaper oil leads to cheaper gas. And in the short term, that is true, especially with summer gas prices coming. Cheaper oil, cheaper gas means a better, more enjoyable summer. But there is an equilibrium. There is a balance in which if a barrel of oil becomes too inexpensive, it actually does hurt the oil industry. So follow with me here for a second. If a barrel of oil, let's say, goes down to $40, you'd say, great, $2 gas. But what that means is it's no longer profitable for the people in this country who are drilling for oil and who work in oil shale like in the Dakotas or in Texas. A barrel of oil has to stay at a certain point for them to make enough money to have the profit to reinvest in future drilling. And so we've seen moves by OPEC and those in the Middle East to dump a ton of oil on the market. When they dump oil on the market, because there's a lot of supply, and with fears of a US or global recession, if there's less demand but more supply, it will make it cheaper, and that will slow down production in the United States. The other negative impact is when oil gets really cheap or cheaper, it does cause instability around the world, and that instability sometimes leads to pretty dire consequences. So it's good, in my view, that oil is coming down, right? We don't want $80, $90, $100 barrel of oil, but we also don't want it to be at 30 or 40. So we're in that kind of that sweet spot right now. If we can keep it somewhere in the 60 to 70 range, gas will be less expensive for us. It'll be more cost effective to travel, right, on an airplane. Shipping costs will come down, which we need right now with all the uncertainty around trade. So we're actually in a really good place right now. But if it keeps going down, as some analysts recently have said they think it can get down to $40, that in the short term is fine. But in the long term, I think that would have consequences that maybe we're not calculating. So if you see cheap gas, that's great. If we see cheap oil, that's great, as long as it doesn't get too cheap. But hey, everybody wants to fill up their tank and save a little bit of money. It's almost like a tax cut. So that's just what we're seeing in the market. I thought I'd bring it to your attention because I think it's interesting. If you have questions on this or anything you're seeing in the market, let me know. But if not, as always, I hope you make it a great week.